All right. Um, Sorry I'm late today, but I had two doctor's appointments, and I thought they were scheduled so I could be back for the afternoon, but the second one went on for a while. Um, anyway, I apologize for that. It looks like Ham's GDC is working today nicely. It's up $1.37, 944. The volume's 552. I don't know anything. Somebody told me it might go to 10. That was last week. Um, but also, I think you can follow Dirty Randy, I think, on Twitter. He's got information. These other stocks, some of the other ones were up. Like that guy came on, I forgot, hang on a second, I'll remember. Volstoy King said get into COSM. Well, it went to 113, but now it's 89. Energy Vault was up this morning pre-market. Now it's down. And who knows? Maybe they keep going up. Maybe it's a back and forth. But what goes on with these guys is like take I don't know what the volume is on COSM. 472,000 shares. That was as high as 103 today during regular hours, and now it's 90 cents. So if you just take 10 cents and, 250,000 shares at 10 cents, I'll let you do the arithmetic. They just do it every single day. They don't care. They don't care about the stocks. They don't know anything. They're just able to do this because you can buy once. They can cheat, multiply their sales, and collude, and no one cares. And we know that. So if GDC, after, I don't know, I played that one. I can't remember when it was. But it was a while ago. I don't know. How do you factor in? Anyway, if that's the one that goes, that's the one that goes. But overall, sorry, I guess coming back inside, anyway, overall, what they want you to do is hopping from one to the next to the next. And the stocks go up and they sell them down, they go up. And they'll do it all day long with you. And they're indifferent. But if they can pull 25 grand a day out of a stock, or a week, or a month, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty darn good. Well, we got 10 minutes to go. Railtown's hit really hard today. It's down 5 cents, almost 5 cents. It was somebody paid, well, it's funny. I saw somebody pay 55 cents this morning, but now they say the high was 52 cents. They don't want you to know how high it was. That's weird. There were a lot of trades above 52 cents this morning. A lot of them. Oh, anyway. So, I don't know what's going on with Railtown in terms of timing. I thought it would be today that they'd finally finish that merger, which we can review again. They announced it on February 11th, and they said they'd come to an LOI in a matter of weeks. Well, now we're in the 7th month, and I can't explain why it didn't happen today. But it's not over. I said these 3 days, the 15th, 16th, and 17th, were the most logical. But then if that doesn't happen, 23, 22, 23, 24. But I still think today, tomorrow, and the next day are the most logical. But, you know, I don't know what the delay's about. It can only be, to me, two things. One is three things. One, the attorneys are incompetent and they actually work in real estate, not in security law. I don't think that's likely. I think that's probably very unlikely. Could somebody on the attorney's team work with the shorts? Sure. But I don't think it's going to matter in this case because they didn't take any financing from any of the usual suspects. So that leaves two things. The deal's falling apart. Well, telling you, these guys have been working together since they announced the deal. They've put joint news stories out together. If the deal has fallen apart, there's two aspects of that. One is Railtown on its own will do just fine and more than fine. It's a $5, $10 stock fairly quickly on its own, in my judgment. But the other thing is, you would know it right away. We would have known it. If the deal had fallen apart, they have to tell us. They can't delay it. There's no exception on that. You might get a day. So what's the other thing? The deal just keeps getting bigger and there's more business. There's more people to put in the deal. It's hard to create a hypothetical, but they announced 4 commercial deals. Maybe they have 4 more they got to fit in. I made that up. I have no idea. But the point is, maybe they get everything right to the finish line, and then they've got to add a whole lot more. The regulators get involved. It could be that. But at some point, the business mind has to beat out the legal mind. Did I just show you that? We're at 12,302,000 shares. 12,302,79 of Railtown. That's really good. I hope some of you didn't get shaken out today. It's all they want. Today, I swear there were volume above 52 cents. So I'm going to use 52 cents down to 48. That's 4 cents on 200,000 shares. 8 grand's better than digging ditches. They don't know anything. They're just trying to scare you. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like the attorneys are going to get finished with their work anytime soon. So I may be wrong about tomorrow or Wednesday. Everybody's very polite in Canada. I think they'd be more inclined to go along with their attorneys. I think that if this were in New York City or in other parts of the United States, this would have already been announced, but everyone's courteous up there. So if something doesn't happen tomorrow, I think we have to plan on the 22nd or 23rd. maybe Wednesday, but anyway, I really thought something would have happened today. As you know, I highlighted it in orange many weeks ago, but it's all right. It's not because the deal the deal isn't going away, and it's not because the deal got worse. So it's not hot money though. Hot money is, oh my God, look at GDC, it's $10. Oh my gosh, look at, that's hot money. And I still stand by my view that the entire bucket of all these hot money stock, the better place to be is Railtown. But while not everything, Quantum's up 18 cents. I'd be careful there. All the rest were in the green this morning, but pre-market. But the only one I'm seeing right now that's massively in the green is GDC. And like I say, you probably get a, I don't get any information on these things. I don't talk to any of those guys anymore. So I guess it'll be $10 today for GDC. I wouldn't trust, just my 2 cents. It's not about trust. That's the wrong word, but it can go higher. I mean, no question. Momentum begets momentum. But I would have liked to have seen 1 million shares or 2 million shares today to be really convinced that this thing is going to do some miracle. But I don't know if anyone's calling for that. The worst thing would be that for tomorrow that it, does 30 million in pre-market and then you don't have a chance to get out. I don't know. I don't want to be negative. Somebody came on here and said Energy Vault had doubled since I, made my blanket statements. Well, it looks like GDC's doubling now, and maybe they both are going to go to the moon. But I still stick by the only place to be is Railtown. I just can't explain the attorneys. I don't know why it takes so bloody long to get it done. I can imagine that it's a lot of signatures. It's a lot of decision makers. And you got to get everyone to agree to every step of the way. I can imagine that's what it is. Well, it's 4:00. Let's see. Railtown got smashed today. It's down 0.0444. That might be good luck. 238. 238 for the volume. And, good for them. They made a lot of money today. It's all computerized. There's no thinking involved. They know two things. They're never going to jail, and you can only buy once. Those are the two things they know. So, hope some of you bought stock. It's interesting. The ask is now 59 cents. The computers are acting like the old market makers used to do. In other words, they don't want to buy any stock. Sorry, they don't want to sell any stock low, I guess in this case. So what should we talk about now that the market's closed? All right, let's just go to your comments. Hi, Steve. Yeah, you can see I had a blood test today. Anyway, my blood pressure is okay apparently, but she's going to call me. She's going to call me with my results on everything else. Hey, Phil Haynes, Jason Harbinson, Ola. All right, Steve, you finished your buy. All right, awesome. So you're taking advantage of this. That's great. That's exactly what you should do. It's exactly what you should do. So I don't know. You didn't give a number, so I'll just say I don't know. I'll just say no. You did a good job. Hey, strength in numbers. Jason Harbinson. Why was GTII up 85%? All right, Jason, that's awesome. That's exactly what you should do on a day like today. Uh, 46. Awesome. All right, Matthew Mall, another hero of the day. So you guys are taking advantage. That's awesome. Awesome. Eddie Rawlings, based on the phone call you had, imminent was used. Let me check if that was the word. Your point is correct. So let me see if I wrote down imminent. Yep, you're right, Eddie. It was, and very, very soon was. Both were used. And that was a while ago. I'll read the rest of your question in a second, but I wouldn't assume that was misleading. You've got businessmen and you have attorneys. I don't know how to tell you guys that. Attorneys think differently. It's like they go into law school, a normal human being, and they come out certainly by the time they're partners somewhere, and they're oblong. Something happens to them. But anyway, they just don't think the same way. So my point being, maybe it has concluded. Maybe the issues with the attorneys papering it up. I don't know. It could be as simple as they're missing two signatures. We just don't know, and I guess we'll never know why it takes 7 months to get a document completed. I don't know why it takes that long. We are in a business where this stock is in a business where the multiples shot skyward, and where there's a lot of acquisitions going on. There's a lot of deal flow, funding of deals. So It could be as simple as a lot of the attorneys and bankers are tied up with other projects. I don't know. I'm tired of trying to figure it out. All I do know is the delay, there's nothing wrong. If we're still in the mindset, oh my gosh, we could have bought GDC at $4 and now it's $10. Well, you could have bought G-Bucks at $8 and now it's 60 cents. These are just hot tips, hot emotions. Railtown, Eddie, is very simply I would say $150 million revenue, repeating revenue, annual recurring revenue for 2026. Where do I come up with that? The conductor for Railtown all by itself, they have 4 commercial deals they announced. I imagine there's a pipeline. If you assume each of those are worth 10 million, which might be high, I don't know. That's 40 million annualized. And that's just those 4. I mean, this is a first to market, battle tested, built over the last 5 years. It's not an idea, and it solves a real problem, and it's met with extraordinarily strong reception, shown by the fact that AI Partners wants to be bought by the company. Anyway, I'd say 40 million is 4 companies, 10 million each for next year. We'll ignore the pipeline, we'll ignore everything else. And in AI Partners is a network of private AI. I think they're all private. I suppose that could have changed, but they were, of all these AI companies. And those 165 companies are producing 400 million in annualized revenue. My source is impeccable. It was posted on Twitter, but it was taken down, so I'm not going to say the source. But if you assume they just get 150, 100 and a quarter, they just get, I don't know, a third of it locked up by the end of the year. 400 million, 130 million. Call it 130 million that they, and it may be more than that, but for 2026, somewhere between 100 and 150 million. And if Railtown conductor by itself does 40 million, you could see 150 million next year. I think it's a fairly reasonable charge. So if you use 150 million for 2026, the multiples now for revenue 100 times, 150, 200 times. Let's not use any of those. 75 times. Let's not use that. 50 times. Let's not even use that. Let's just use 25 times revenue. That's a $3.75 billion company, maybe by December or January, divided by 200 million shares. It's an $18 stock, $18.75. So to be anxious, the fact that the attorneys didn't finish and nothing's happening, but look at GDC, it's at 10. I got to get over there. They're just two different commitments of capital. It's a very exciting thing to be in GDC right now, I'm sure. It may be very exciting to be in Energy Vault, but to be in Railtown's a different play. And if you listen to me just now with my timing, I don't know if I said it with emphasis. If Railtown can go into next year with the consensus that they're going to do 150 million in annual recurring revenue by the end of this year, by December or January, if that becomes clear, the company's worth $18.75 a share using 200 million shares. 1875. And that's at a multiple of 25x. If you use 50x, obviously, you got a $37 stock. So one day of hot money, one stock out of a 2-3 dozen is up. You know, there are traders out there. I know one. He's very good at it. You know, I'm sure he doubled or tripled his money in GDC, and maybe now he has a chance to buy Railtown. For me, that's always a high risk strategy, and it usually ends in tears. But I guess that was an opportunity available. Gold is soaring. Silver is soaring. I love silver. It's the only asset out there that hasn't been fully priced. It's never there. You know, you hear talk about the everything bubble. It's the only one that hasn't even gone back to its nominal highs. But NASDAQ is up for the 9th day in a row. Its longest winning streak since 23. NASDAQ and S&P hit new record highs. Wow. It's a it's a tale of two equity markets. The Mag 7 is up 2.5% in 2 days. The remainder of the S&P 500 is down almost 1%. So anyway, rate cuts. I don't know what to say about rate cuts. I think he should keep rates high, but I believe everyone is expecting a 1/4 point cut. So what would surprise the market maybe is 50 basis points. And if they did that, I guess gold and silver would soar. But if they only do 20, a quarter point or nothing, you could see a pullback in gold temporarily. No pullback in gold is going to be for very long. Based on the phone call you had, imminent was used, true. Maybe they don't understand it suggests urgency and finality. Yeah, but he wasn't. I mean, I'm not sure, Eddie, he wanted me. I don't think that was anything uh, um, privileged, because that's obvious to everyone that the conclusion is near. But and what does imminent mean when you're out 7 months? Is imminent one day or is it 2 weeks? I don't know. It doesn't really have a clear meaning. And Eddie, I would suggest if you're looking to trade, which you might, um, that's one thing. But I just focus you again on at the end of the year, this could be a $20 stock. I just worked through the rationale at a 25x. And 150 million next year could be low. We'll find all this out. It's too much guesswork. But if Railtown goes from 48 cents to $5 in a couple of weeks, and you say, "Hey, I have a win. I'm getting out. I'm going over to GDC or over to Energy Vault or any one of thousands of ideas out there." Well, yeah, I think you're going to possibly miss out on a tremendous price at year end and next year. So if you take that logic, which you may not, I'm not saying you have to, why worry if it's 48 cents or 52 cents or if the news comes out imminently, whatever the hell imminent means? I happen to agree with you, but God, we're going to have radiation all over the planet. But wow, the largest options expiry this week. Nobody knows. Nobody. I'm reading all these headlines. One guy's saying, "Put seller party. What could go wrong?" Oh, it's the marketeer. Um, yeah, you can get really hammered if you sell puts and the market crashes. You can be really in trouble. But I think the market. I mean, you could have a correction briefly. I think the market's going to go up 30% from here. Israel's under attack. Oh, it already happened. Well, that's a topic that gets nowhere. Tesla soars after Musk buys $1 billion worth of stock. Hedge funds are turning into buyers. About time. Nvidia slips. Ah, that's interesting. Who are the largest immigrant groups in America? Well, Asia and Oceania win. No, yeah, Asia and Oceania wins, I think, unless you put Mexico with all of the Americas, which maybe it's the right way to do it. Mexico and all of the Americas are 55%. Let me see if they give a chart. Mexico's the largest, 11 million. Anyway, let's see. Wall Street Wolfie bought. All right, that's great. Added 5,150. Wall Street Wolfie GDC. Yeah, I don't remember I had pointed out to you guys several times, but not with emphasis, that those two stocks, ZJYL and GDC, they were ready to run like a year ago, but someone opened their mouth on Twitter. And so the attorney said, oh, it looks like privileged information got out there, so you better. So they put it on the back burner. Well, they never went away. So maybe they're going to make it happen. I don't know. You have to get that information from Ham or Dirty Randy. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. They didn't shake me out. That's great, Wall Street Wolfie. Bravo. Hey, Jack Hamilton. RT. Buying more Thursday. Hey, Marty Party. Steve, all right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to. I didn't add yours all together. I guess I can figure it out. You're going to be a hero. That's amazing. I wish I had that much. I wish I had a 20th of that, a quarter of that. Ralph M., I sold most of my GDC too early. I know I look, I don't know what to say. I knew there would be people in that boat, and you just can't always get it exactly right. But Ralph, it looks like now, and it doesn't look like it, it's true. Probably you could have waited till today to sell GDC And you could have bought Railtown today. But you never knew that. You only know that looking at it now. You never know it as you're going. GDC could be the one. I mean, I should look at a chart. It could be the one that squeezes. It could be. Try a couple of dozen stocks, and finally one goes. Darn it! Darn it! Darn it! But that's pretty scary to get into. On the other hand, let me look at a 5-year chart. It might have broken through something. Is it a cup and handle? It might be making a cup and it still has to do the handle. I'd say in the $10 range, it's probably both psychologically and from previous, all those peaks there are roughly $10, $11. Except for this one went way up to 40. Yeah. For me, I couldn't afford to spread it out. I mean, if I had done GDC, I probably would do G-Bucks, and that went down. I don't know. If you have the information flow and you trust what you're hearing, I guess it makes sense. But the person to go listen to is Dirty Randy on Twitter, and him. Yeah, it looks like GDC is in play. It's just a question: does it keep running up? I don't know. Justin Babish, good for you. Wow, you guys are heroes. Maybe I should go to the doctor more often. It's great. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything, Michael. I was at the doctor. Nothing wrong. Well, nothing wrong she could fix anyway. Now I know, Eddie. I know you didn't. You're not looking to do anything different. I forget everything I said. I'm a little out of it, but I wasn't only talking to you when I was talking, even though I was answering your question. I think it's a shite day when particularly one stock goes up so much, which has been dormant for, I don't know, a year and a half. And for me, I would have expected Railtown to complete everything today. I don't know. I had very superficial reasons, but I figured the weekend was enough time for the lawyers to finish their job, and I think it clashes with the business of running a business. Lawyers don't run a business. I just thought of something, but now I forgot. Okay. Eddie, I had a point for you, and it totally came in and out of my head. All right, so GDC's down now. You can't tell if that's which side is playing the retail. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was just going to look something up. Yeah. Nope. Just trying to get a quote. Pretty good. I don't know what this means, Eddie R. Darn Skippy. Don't know what it means. My head is spinning. If I breathe a little bit, I'll get back on track. Anyway, I was talking about interest rates, and I think the market would surprise everybody by 50 basis points or not doing anything at all. If they do 25 basis points, I don't know what happens to the market. I think gold would probably pull back a little bit briefly. But gold is unleashed, silver is unleashed. When silver breaks 52, my opinion, it'll double. And I don't have a position. Which is a shame because I used to, and I gave up buying Bitcoin under $1 to buy silver. That was a dumb mistake. I could have had a, 25, 50, 75, 100 grand in Bitcoin at $1. Who's Nano Nuclear? A micro reactor company. We're gonna what's OKLO? It's another one. These are all going up. Nano nuclear. Anything for AI. Let's see if somebody has a point. I need a jumping off point. Thumbs up. Oh, all right. I got you. Darn Skippy. No, I think it's great. And I didn't mean to be negative with Eddie. I really didn't. Really didn't at all. At all. I need a second wind. Otherwise, I may have wasted your time this afternoon. I'm glad that everybody added. That's the right thing to do. The Babcock family sent me some charts, which I can go over. Eddie Rollins, I've got thick SIDS. I can't hurt my feelings. Well, you can hurt mine, but I also at the same time, I'd rather not show it and just keep going and fight. Keep making things happen. But good for you. I wish I had thick skin. Ward Richardson. All right, let's see what's happening. 2024 through June 2025, it is estimated that 1.7 million pounds of silver have been used in the AI boom. God, one thing, and I sat with a pad of paper and did it. I probably threw it away, and trying to figure out if and when Railtown goes up, does one avail themselves of margin and to buy more? I think it's really risky. If you don't have cash or other shares to sell, because if the stock went up to 6 or 7 and then they got it down to 4, you could have a margin call and you could lose your stock. So I didn't like that so much if the stock is in the single digits. And then I was thinking, well, do you buy calls? And calls, you turn an investment, like I was just saying to Eddie, you turn an investment that should be okay just as long as you hold on to it into something that can get wiped out by calls get wiped out. But then I was thinking about silver. Well, what if you just took 5% of the money, the margin on your account and bought silver, physical silver, so that you could sell it if you had a margin call. And that intrigued me, but we're nowhere there. We're nowhere there right now. I don't know when these attorneys are going to finish their work. I don't know if it's the business people have overloaded the attorneys with too much new work, or maybe the regulatory. I have no idea. I have no idea. Where is the AI board in relation to others? It's a good question. It's a good question. And I don't know, are you talking about Railtown or AI partners? We can go over both. But I would say that the board on, well, let's just pick, trying to do it by memory. So let's just go find it. I think this news story that came out July 28th now, man, Railtown AI Technology and AI Partnerships Corp partner with Bryant AI to bring, you saw that. Let's just go to the bottom and see if they link the two. Well, let's go to AI partnership first. John, I think you're not asking me about the founders, but in the case of AI partners, I don't think you could have. Probably the only thing you could have better is if the guys were younger. Um, uh, but for me, I like that they're older, and they started this a while ago. It's not like they're just doing it now. Um, all right, here's the AIP team. This guy, Michael Nobrega, is one of the founders, and you see he comes from Omer's. I'll just read it to you. I probably already did, but maybe somebody didn't hear it. So it's Michael Nobrega, former president and CEO of the Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement System, Omer's, which is one of Canada's largest pension funds, but Rhode Island could kick its butt. And then he also he was CEO, president of a subsidiary for infrastructure. So I think that guy that's great background. And then you have Dr. Tom Core, who looks like the optimist. He looks like one of those guys, if you said, hey, doctor, how are you doing? Never better. You need people like that. But anyway, he's former president and CEO of Ontario's Centers for Excellence for 10 years. And he was president and CEO of the Accelerator Center at Waterloo Research and Technology Park. So that's very important, that accelerator, for the roll-up of these companies. He knows what he's doing to help the companies, but also select which ones. His period of time at Ontario Centers for Excellence, I don't know much about that, 10 years, but I know Ontario's heavily into the AI business, so I would imagine his Rolodex is pretty massive. This guy, Patrick Horgan from IBM, he's a little younger. He was responsible for AI and Ontario. But this guy, John Ruffalo, you couldn't have a better gentleman. He's a founder. I'm not sure he's got a decision to make, maybe. I've run into it myself on a tiny, tiny scale. But if he is like president or CEO of this, I don't know how he runs. Here's John Ruffalo's paragraph: founder and managing partner of Mavericks Private Equity. So how does he run that? And he's CEO. I don't think it works, but he might be on the board, maybe. I don't know. And then he's a founder of Omer's Ventures, the Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement Services. Oh, he ran it for 8 years, this Omer's Ventures. But you know what he did, and so did the other guy, Michael. They were there with 25 million as initial capital for Constellation Software. That went from 25 million to 5 billion. Trades today, Canadian, CSU. And John Ruffalo invested over 500 million in 40 different companies while he was at Omer's Ventures. And so it's perfect. It's perfect for the roll-up strategy they have. But here, that's what I was pausing. I think you're asking about this. Who are their advisors? There's this guy, Rial Tanqueray, and he's a Toyota executive for 24 years in Japan. He has the Order of Canada and the Order of the Rising Sun in Japan. And then there's Cameron Schuler. He's the Chief Commercialization Officer and Vice President of Industry Innovation at the Vector Institute. Never heard of it, but I'm sure it's great. He was Executive Director of AMI. That's very important. AMII is one of the partners with Railtown. It's one of Railtown's partners, AMII. I think it's, I have to look up what AMI stands for. We can find it. He led one of the top ranked machine learning and AI groups in the world. AMI has a great reputation, AMII. So that's a pretty good guy to have on your advisory board, Cameron Schuler. And then they have Ted Zalowski. He's serial entrepreneur. And he is an angel investor, business mentor, researcher, and educator. All over the place, all sorts of industries. Sounds like me, only he's successful. And then there's Keith Thomas. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's young. An investor for 20 years. US, Latin America, Europe, and Australia financing companies. The University of Toronto. So he's a gentleman. He's operated and financed companies, and he's built 3 growth companies. And he was most recently CEO of Vive, a chemicals company. So that's another great pick. And then you've got Sherry Shannon Vanstone, who also has a deep background. She's a tech entrepreneur, angel investor, and she builds high-performing teams. She has led startups through to successful exits in Silicon Valley and the Toronto Waterloo Technology Corridor. She is the founder and president of Profound Impact, a data analytics firm which leverages AI to provide perfect match of funding opportunities with academic and corporate researchers. She received an honorary doctorate of laws from Western University. I already showed you Dr. Tom Kaur. The CEO is Gary Chan. This is the CTO. He's a founding managing partner at Procast Consulting, building the IT professional services company in Canada, United States, and China. He is a tech entrepreneur and founder of companies in the fintech and software as a service companies. And then there's Mark Ellingson. He's CFO. And he co-founded Moby, a Toronto-based educational toy company that designs and sells high-quality educational toys around the world. And he started out at Deloitte. And then this gentleman might be going out with your wife right now, Stephen Cuthrell. He's VP Corporate Development and Acquisitions, responsible for he was a director at US Web. And he was part of US Web going public with a run rate of $1 billion in revenues and a $3 billion valuation. And then there's Bob Albert, VP Strategic Partnerships. He was at US Web as well. So he assisted in growing US Web from a startup to a network of over 50 affiliates. US Web, Sprint, MicroAge, and Computerland. And then there's Dorian Marquet. He's former sales and marketing representative for Beam Technology, Apex Leadership, and Naver Band Inc. He's got a lot of different roles he's had in his life. And then there's Nicholas Kronke, who looks like the salesman. He's a senior partnership marketer, 8 years of experience. He's built brands. And he's got a lot of awards. That's it for AI partnerships. But let's go over to let's just check out the board or advisors at Railtown. I just got to find a link to they have two different home pages. I mean, two different. Yeah, I guess that's it. They have a website for, it seems like, for customers. All right. Here's the Railtown website. Railtown AI is redefining how agentic-led software is built, deployed, and scaled. We deliver intelligent AI frameworks and proactive observability solutions that help developers and enterprises solve problems before they happen, drive innovation forward, and build stronger, he's patriotic. It will build a stronger Canadian ecosystem. So Conductor is their product. Conductor is the first end-to-end DPE platform. I forgot what that meant. That proactively removes friction from software development with automation, smart insights, and streamlined CI/CD. I also forgot what those mean. They have AI-powered command center for engineering velocity, understand development focus with Railtown overview dashboard, and flag bottlenecks in your development process. This looks like the marketing website, but let's find out. Single pane of glass view for deployment insights. Get clear insights into what code and features are being deployed, the quality and stability of the release, and any potential risks, helping teams catch issues early. Root cause insights in every error bucket. Get a single consolidated alert per error bucket, complete with root cause analysis and insights into all affected areas of your code. Then they describe Railtracks, another product they have. I guess that was all under Conductor. This is Railtracks. An agentic framework for building and deploying autonomous AI agents, built for real-world orchestration, integration, and scale. No friction tooling infrastructure. Secure and deployment ready. Multi-agent. All right, I'm skipping that. Yeah, that's the wrong website, see? Here's the other one. RailtownAITechnologies.com. All right, let's go down that. See, there's Amy. That's one of their partners, Amy. Amy. All right, there's their proven tech founders, Marwan Haddad, Corey Brandolini, Kevin O'Neill, and Dr. Elliot Holtzman. Sorry, Holtham. Let me find the Who We Are page. Team. Our experienced team. I've gone through this before, but Marwan, one of the founders, 25 years of experience, 10 years leading and building engineering and product development teams. He's a former CTO and VP engineering for RESAAS, and he's worked with launched platforms for a number of Fortune 500s. And then Corey Brandolini, 30 plus years. This is on the Railtown side, and he's one of the co-founders. 20 years in investment banking. Raised a bunch of money. He's a partner of Telio, which was acquired by Microsoft. So that's a very interesting thing to remember. And then there's Dr. Elliot Holtham. He was, I don't know why he's here. He looks like he should be an oil man or a gold man, but he was co-founder, CEO, and COO of Extract AI, a machine learning company, which was acquired by Patriot One Technologies. He has a PhD in geophysics from the University of British Columbia, UBC, and he got the Vanier graduate scholarship, very prestigious. He writes a lot of articles. And then, all right, now it's Kevin O'Neill is a co-founder, but he's also on the advisory board, which is what you're looking into. He has 35 years of technology investing, advisory, and leadership experience. He was an overpaid wanker at Merrill Lynch. He's a former investment banker at Merrill Lynch. And he's the former CEO of Extract AI, which was acquired by Patriot One Technologies. 35 years. And he's much younger than I am. And then they've got this guy, Andy Moak. He's Senior VP of Product Development. His expertise is in mobile development, system design, product management, subscription platforms, ed tech, ad tech, mobile tech, and web tech. Everywhere you look, tech. He's got a proven track record in IP generation, and he's got a commitment to analytics and results. And then Matthew Bolton, VP of Engineering, 20 years in developing applications and software for Microsoft, Pfizer, Procter and Gamble, Remax, Electronic Arts, Samsung, Home Depot, WWF, Air Canada. He didn't do such a good job at Air Canada. It's probably not his fault. 10 years developing scalable apps using AWS and Microsoft Azure. And then they have Yemi Boyeza, lead software engineer, 20 years of tech development experience, Battlefly, software development, senior advisor at Dell, Resas. They have Chris Gerard. He's a front-end engineer and senior front-end developer for the PropTech cloud platform Resas, Resaas. He's a former senior front-end engineer at Railtown. And then you've got Rebecca Kurzweil in investor relations, 10 years. And you've got Paul Woodward, CFO, 30 years of experience in capital markets. He's a former MD at Haywood Securities, president of Conation Capital. And then the board of directors, this is for Railtown, John, Dr. Eldad Hatter. He's an advisor on the board of advisor and directors. He's a professor, of computational scientists and NSERC Industrial Research Chair at the University of British Columbia. He co-founded Extract AI, acquired by Patriot One Technologies. He's written widely adopted commercial software packages over the last 20 years. Ali Sanawi, capital markets advisor. He's been in the capital markets since 2005. He's helped raise a lot of money. He's a managing director of Vancouver-based capital markets advisory firm, specializing in marketing and financing micro, to mid-cap companies. Then another director, Rob Goring, serial entrepreneur and seasoned. He's seasoned technology executive, 25 years of experience leading early stage high growth tech companies. He's the founder and CEO of cybersecurity company Wiser AI, or Wiser, WISR AI. And Ana Maria Parente, VP of Human Resources at Sherwex Global, but she's a director here. And that's it. Top 10 or top 100? I would say, John, as a combined company, that their board of directors and their team and their investor groups will definitely be in the top 10 in Canada. You may say that's small, but I think Canada is pretty big in their commitment in AI. But I think they have a really talented, connected group. So I think it's exciting. Marty Party. Scraped up a little more. Another guy that I wish you guys, I'm gonna wish I knew all you guys. 162041. That's awesome, Marty. Mad Greek. You guys are acting. That's great. That's awesome, Mad Greek. Do you know, Mad Greek, if, let's just say I'm correct, that next year the stock is able to achieve $55. And there's a lot of variables, a lot of stuff we need to know, so let's not get overly excited yet. But do you know that if I'm right, you have 6.5 million smackers? That's a lot. By the way, I picked 55 because in all the numbers that I play with, which I admit we don't have enough information, it could be much more than that. So that's great. That's a great job, Mad Greek. There's Volstoy King and Donna. So that's all good. I don't think I have much more to go over, but let's go over, if I can find it. We'll go to the Babcock family sent me some, if it's here. We could go over some of the mergers. Maybe I'll do that. I did do that to show you. I wonder if I have enough energy. I guess we can go through them. But sorry to yawn. First, I want to. This is from the Babcock family, and of course, I can't read it. It's too small. Well, I'll read it from here. That means you can't read it. I don't want to be distracted by silver yet, but it's starting to move, so I don't really want to ignore it either. Silver's recent strength is attracting attention, and darn it, with investors and analysts debating whether the metal is primed for a sustained period of outperformance. So they have three charts here: the gold to silver ratio, silver's relative value against the S&P, and a long-term technical breakout, saying that silver might be entering a bull phase. So this first chart, by the way, look up at the top up here. It's Fidelity telling you this is what happens. That's why when people aren't paying attention is when you buy things. And when the obvious gets spread out everywhere, you feel good. But anyway, the gold to silver ratio is one of the oldest continuously tracked relationships in the market. And here it is. It looks like a useless chart to me. A high ratio shows that silver might be undervalued, while a low ratio suggests the opposite. Natural resource investors who monitor this ratio tend to shift their exposure from gold to silver when it's high and rotate back to gold when it's low. And they're saying they use ETFs like GLD and SLV. The latest levels are around 86, well above the long-term average. When I started talking to you about it, it was 100, it was over 120. But I didn't have any money to buy. So he's saying that, or she's saying that the long-term average is closer to 50 to 60. So there's room to move for silver to outperform. And then this chart, a second lens on silver's potential comes from its ratio to the S&P 500. I like that idea. Look at that chart. That chart clearly tells you something. This metric shows how silver performs against the S&P. I often go to the S&P. So in 2011, silver way outperformed. I guess that makes sense. But if you go back, I can barely read that. Let me see if I can read it here. If you go back to 87, I can't explain why it would be that high then. Maybe because stock prices were low. That was the crash. But anyway, if you see 2011, these charts give you an idea of cycles. And then if you stop thinking in terms of the dollar being your wealth and a little bit of cycles, it's pointing out that the S&P is highly valued compared to silver, and eventually we'll get a cycle to correct that. Okay. Let me read the next. This is the blurb that comes under there. By the end of this decade, I believe traditional portfolios will hold a meaningfully larger allocations to hard assets than they do today. Well, that's not brilliant, but that's Crescent Capital's macro strategist, Tavi Costa. See, they're educating their herd of employees. During the last major silver bull market from 2008 to 2011, the ratio bottomed before surging higher as silver prices dramatically outpriced stocks. Today, the ratio is again at historic lows, suggesting silver is cheap relative to equities. If the pattern matches the last cycle, silver could be on the verge of another period where it outperforms. Finally, silver's recent bullish move has completed a generational breakout. The metal has completed a long-term cup and handle that spans 4 decades. The metal broke resistance at $32 an ounce. And unfortunately, that is a large cup and handle. And it looks more like a bowl. Looks more like a bathtub. Anyway, there you go with silver. Hey, Cliff Duran. Yeah, let me go through some of these just so that you guys don't get discouraged and nervous about the fact that hot stocks are going up and a slow stock is being a slow poke. It's going to say, boy, you sure have a lot of files. Watch, it'll say that. What's wrong? Why won't it add? What happened? Why? There it goes. Boy, you sure had a lot of files. All right, let's see. Which comes first, 1476 or 1468? I guess 1467 comes first. In August, healthcare and housing. Oh, I know, I got to do it backwards, actually, because I think it'd make more sense if I did first in, first out. So if I go to 79, yeah, here. No, maybe not. Let me see what I'm getting confused by. Um, okay, I'll just do it back. R-word. Healthcare AI in August raised $250 million in a Series E round. And what I think we are in is a pre-seed or a seed round. We're not even, I'm taking liberties. We're not in any of these series. But anyway, they did a Series E round that valued the company at $2.2 billion. Let me just Google Elise. So according to Google, Elise AI's annual recurring revenues surpassed 100 million. So they valued the company at 2.2 billion. I think Railtown will get to 100 for next year. And this was led by Andreessen Horowitz. So I don't know, if you take $100 million and divide it by 2 billion, that doesn't work. I guess you got to take 2.2 billion and divide that by 100 million. Gives you 22 multiple for Elise AI. Descartes, an AI research lab, raised 100 million at a 3.1 billion valuation. Let's see what kind of revenue Descartes has. René Descartes was a drunken fart. They generate tens of millions. That's all it says, tens of millions in revenue. And they got valued at 3.1 billion. And it was Sequoia Capital, Benchmark, and Z Ventures. So that's in August. Those give you recent comps. Predoc grabs 30 million to automate healthcare data workflows with AI. That's September. And it was led by Base 10 Partners, North Zone, EMEAC Ventures, ERA Ventures. Predoc raised $30 million Series A. And you could argue we might be at a Series A financing level. I think what we're paying is seed round prices. And then which maybe I'll read it to you, but basically as you go up the series, you're going further along the development scale. And I think Railtown, we're paying maybe seed prices, but Railtown is trading as if it's already received Series E financing. Not A, but they've already gone through development, proof of concept, battle tested, generating revenue, customers. So I just think it's just an incredible opportunity to buy into the stock while the lawyers, do the moot court cha-cha. So anyway, they've had year-over-year growth of quite a bit, and it's primarily for doctors. Let's see how much revenue pre-doc. Well, they don't give the valuation here, so I'm going to skip that one. Charm Therapeutics bags 80 million. That's September 2nd. These are all very recent, guys. Money is flowing into AI like nobody's beeswax. Charm Therapeutics raised 80 million in an oversubscribed Series B to advance its next-gen menin inhibitor for AML into clinical development, using its Dragonfold AI platform, blah, 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 blah. The company has raised over 150 million. September 2nd. I'm not going to look it up because they don't give the valuation number there either. All I'm trying to show you is money is moving into AI. If the attorneys would ever finish, you're going to see money moving in the open market into Railtown. Leo AI secured 9.7 million seed funding, September 2nd. Leo AI, led by Flint Capital, Idrisen Horowitz, Tech AVIV, 2 lanterns. Google, I guess 2 lanterns came by sea. Leo AI has raised $9.7 million in seed funding to advance its AI-powered co-pilot, which is what Railtown does, tailored for mechanical engineers. It's large language model. Anyway, they don't give the valuation, so we'll skip that one. I'm really just trying to show you that money is in motion. 1.7 million euros to develop AI camera system, September 2nd. BetaWorks, F4 Fund, Next Wave, 7PC. I'm not in love. Oh no, just because. Was that 7PC that sang that? Ventures Digital Catapult. Details, the company raised 1.7 million in seed funding. That's where I think that's the price we're paying to accelerate the development of its AI integrated. They don't have a ready product. Railtown does, but still money's flowing in. Not in love. Call to see you. Layer X raises 100 million to automate enterprise back office with AI. Layer X, from the land of the rising sun. Series B. Layer X raised 100 million in Series B funding to expand its AI platform that automates enterprise back office functions like expense reporting, invoice processing, and compliance. Funding 192 million, and it's on track to do 68 million. 68 million in annual recurring revenue. It doesn't tell the valuation, but they raised 100 million, and I think it's a lot. 68 million annual recurring revenue. Railtown combined with AI Partners is going to kick Layer X's butt for a little while. Never know how it shakes out in the long run, I guess. Just trying to show you the demands there. You just don't get to see it because the attorneys are stuck with, do you think we should use the word it on page 248, paragraph 3, or should it be hers? Well, let me get back to you. I've got to talk to Frank and Bob and Bill, and we'll run it by Elise in corporate, and we'll get back to you. A couple of those guys are out. So how does Monday work for you? Oh Lord. IEDU GPT raises 10 million to personalize exam prep. That's what cheating is called. IEDU GPT closed 10 million seed round. That's what we're paying. We're paying seed round prices. But that was September 2nd. Allen Institute for AI lands 152 million to build open multimodal AI infrastructure for science. And then you can follow it. 152 million, the U.S. National Science Foundation and NVIDIA. 5-year initiative. Open multimodal AI infrastructure to accelerate science. I bet you can meet some hot chicks at that lecture. Anyway, it goes down through it using Blackwell. But 152 million, August of this year. Elise AI, we already went through that one. Yep, we already did that, I think. Elise AI, 250 million to extend vertical AI into healthcare. 2.2, doubling its previous raise. 300-person sales force, New York, San Francisco, Boston. We don't even know how big Railtown is. They've had to hush their mouth. But they have a big presence in parts of Canada that you've never heard of. I'm just kidding. Arinta raises 21 million to automate medical coding with Gen AI, August of 25, led by Peak Partners. Series A to fuel its U.S. expansion. I won't torture you much longer. Legion raises 38 million to redefine AI infrastructure for enterprises. Sounds like our area. $38 million. Next gen enterprise AI infrastructure stack. It simplifies data transformation, model orchestration, and secure deployment to help enterprises optionalize AI faster. What a butcher of the English language. But anyway, that's 38 million. Seems to do something similar to what we're doing, but we're already got our product up and running. Mistral Eyes, 10 billion valuation. They're aiming to raise $1 billion at 10 billion. Let's see how much revenue Mistral Eyes does. Mistral Eyes. Mistral Eyes. Abu Dhabi MGX fund reportedly revenue. Now let me do AI revenue. Oh, Mistral. It's just called Mistral AI. It's projected to reach 60 million in revenue this year. Mistral AI, and they're using a 10 billion valuation. So let's see what that multiple is. 10 billion. 10 billion divided by 60 million. That's 166 multiple. 166 multiple. If Railtown did that and received a 10 billion valuation, they're only doing 60 million in revenue. Railtown could be 100 by the end of the year. 150, 200, who knows? I don't know. And that's part of the problem. We've got to get the data. But what if Railtown just does 60 million and gets a 10 billion valuation just like this? If we'll use 200 million shares, 50 smackers, and that's why we have to try not to get worried that we miss something in another realm. Rifa AI raises 1.1 million in a seed round. That's kind of what we're paying, I think. It's a startup, conversational voice. The company aims to improve real-time voice interfaces between boyfriends and girlfriends. Anyway, and it's August, and then here's July. Ramp valued at 22 billion. Ramp. Let's see how much revenue Ramp does. Ramp revenue. Ramp reached 1 billion. They reached 1 billion in annualized revenue. So that's only 22 times revenue, but it's much bigger numbers. That's why it's smaller multiple. Did I already show you this one? Cohere raises 500 million at 6.8 B. All right. I think that is all I had to show you. The old bathtub and handle. Bathtub and pipes. All right, guys. I'm sorry it's such a weak effort tonight, 5:30, but let's just call it there. I don't know what to tell you on all these other stocks out there. You listen to Ham or listen to Dirty Randy, and I guess we'll go from there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll do better tomorrow. I won't be so wiped out from being at the doctor. So anyway, we'll talk to you tomorrow, eh?